Miss Nikki Lane. Back with us again.
Good to be back.
Oh, it's so awesome to have you here. Well, we'll talk about that later. I just have to say something to you. Permission to speak freely?
Sure. I don't know, actually. What?
I know. Because, I've never said this to a woman, so this might be the wrong.
Perfect.
You got a little Willie in you.
Oh, I'll take that. Smoke enough joints, anyone can get a little Willie in them, right?
Right? That's the name of your next album. You got a little Willie in me.
That wouldn't have gone over so well with any of you, but I'll take it.
Oh, you bring it, girl. And you know what? The coolest thing about you. Tell me about that. What's Little Willie left the building? That's got to be a story. This has got to be a van story.
I don't have a story.
You're not on that one, huh?
No.
That's funny.
No.
You know, the best thing that talks about you and your music and where you're at and what you're doing and what you're bringing us. You warmed up for Loretta Lynn to Social Distortion. Mm-hmm. That speaks volumes for an artist.
And somebody like Jenny Lewis, which is just his opposite.
And Jenny, and we've had Jenny in here too.
Yeah.
You know, it just tells me that you get to see so many different audiences, and I'll bet by the end of the night, after they see you, you win them all over, don't you?
Not all. Like,
wow.
I'm not just listen. I'm just telling you. Like, we've made more fans off the Social Distortion tour than any other tour, but we played to 3,000 men with their arms crossed. You know what I mean? Because they're skeptical. Like, you have to really, like, they're going there to see an old punk band. So you have, we come out there, you got to earn their respect. So that's been the fun part. Even in Loretta Lynn's audience, like, I have to, she's hilarious, but she doesn't say the F word as many times a day as I do. So I have to be careful. You look out and I'm like, my grandmother might be here and I got to be careful. So that's the fun part is getting to see all the different environments, learning, there have been some tours that we took away no one because it was just so off base. I'm not going to tell you who, but I'm just saying, like, you get out there and you're like, nope. Well, like, young college boys don't necessarily love alt country. I'm not speaking. I'm sure there's maybe at least one of you in here, but we get out in front of some audiences and that, like, maybe it wasn't meant for you. But that's the cool thing is, like, you get to delve into different worlds. And I never entered into this to hone in on one genre. I don't listen to one genre. I don't want to write one genre. Yeah. It's got it's only got a couple titles that go along with what we play, but we're down to make any kind of fan, and then hopefully stick with them.
Well, that's one of the things that when I first got turned on to Hank 3, too, it was just an amazing thing to see everybody from the Ass Jack crowd to what was going on with Hank. And it was like, it spoke to me at a time when country music wasn't a part of that's why this album, I've got a blues show, have had one for 25 years in this town, been playing you for 2 months straight.
Thank you very much. That's the thing is I like being the country for people who don't like country.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that works for me.
Is that the title?
A lot of people tell me that. They go, I don't even like country, but I like you. And I go, perfect. Well,
and so much about this new album, too. It's about good love. It's about bad love. It's about the road because most of it written on the road, right?
Yeah, that's all we do. It turns out it's just ride around in the van. But that's kind of fun as long as we're all sick at once right now. So we're trying to figure out who the nurse is. And that's a tricky thing.
I saw you taking a nap back. I'm sorry. We're doing another interview in another city.
I hope I wasn't snoring.
No, so does everybody know the van rules? Everybody sticking by the van rules? Is that okay?
Oh my God, it's amazing. Like someone said something about how bad the van must smell the other day, but these guys are like, we rented a really nice house in Bozeman, Montana, and we slept in, like me and Jonathan, and they got up and took off, and I got up and they clean. It was cleaner than we had rented it, and that's not normal. Like I got rid of a guy early on in touring that would like wear his socks until they were crispy and then leave them underneath the bathroom counter at the hotel, like. That was part of the cleaning service, and I was like, get that guy out of here. I don't care how good he is at his job. Like, we don't roll like that. We want to be invited back to the venue, to the hotel, to the Airbnb. Like, it's a bunch of gentlemen, so they go by the name Tennessee Dirtbags, but we are a bunch of gentlemen over here.
I like that, too. Well, introduce us to who we have up there.
So we got Eric Whitman over here on the bass. He's from a little town called Port Angeles, Washington, but we all live in Nashville. And then Alex Munoz over here. He's from Spain, but we've pretty much kept him. I think he's really just from Nashville at this point. And then Taylor Powell on drums, who is actually from Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, this new album jumped onto the charts.
Yeah.
You saw that.
Yeah.
And no Dan Auerbach on there. See?
That was my personal goal.
You and Jonathan,
That
right?
was my personal goal.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's very exciting to work with big names and to get there's obviously big reward of being able to be associated with big producers early on in your career, but it was the bulk of the interviews. And as much as I appreciate what he did for me, I don't really care about talking about him all dang day. So it was fun to be able to talk about what we did on our own.
Well, tell me about what we did, you and Jonathan on this.
So me and Jonathan Tyler, I'd already made a record. I've never thrown away a brand new car before. That's like the joke that I keep having for this record, but I've never done that. But I made a full record in New York, and I made it while we were on tour. We had 10 days off, so we went 10 days in the studio like we always do, kind of pushing it to the limit. And it was a very talented producer and a very talented team of musicians, but I don't think I really had developed the courage yet to say anything in the studio. And most of the times I'd gone in and the producer had kind of, the telepathy had worked, and they had given me something that I was proud of. But this record didn't sound like me. I kind of still want to get like a blonde wig and still put it out and with a different name because it's very good, you know what I mean? But it just didn't work. And so Jonathan and I were in Denton, Texas, and he said, someone had canceled for 2 days of recording. He said, why don't you come in and we'll spend 2 days in the studio for fun? And I was like, for fun? It's too expensive to be fun. And he was like, well, we'll just make it fun. What if we didn't charge you any money? And I was like, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Never had that before. And we went in and I dropped my guard because everybody was kind of like, what do you think? And I was like, oh, really? You mean that? And I started sticking my nose in, and I'm not good at guitar, but I started writing hooks by singing them to the guitar players and realizing that the little things that I dreamt of hearing on the record, I could get out of the players if I just kind of opened up and said out loud what I wanted, and somebody wasn't kind of, the boss, we were the boss. And so we made a record the way we wanted it. And I knew immediately that it was a good, couple of tracks we had done. But I always say, I had a lot of adversity to the idea of a record label for a long time. And that's the easiest people to be mad at is your record label. That's what we're supposed to do. But when I showed them the new tracks, they let me throw away a car and make another record. And, even though that was a big decision to make, I couldn't believe that they didn't balk, you know what I mean? They were like, no, we have to do the right thing. And it paid off. Joel, got Joel Habishaw here, my radio guy, but he and Al Moss got us, number one on Americana radio kind of right away, and keep joking about it. But Ryan Adams has been at number 2 for a couple of weeks because of me. And I don't want him to send me any hate texts because I keep saying it out loud, but that's that feels better than just about anything.
Ryan who?
Who?
Yeah. All right, and one more thing you got to know about here. I think this is perfect because no, Ryan's great. We've had the other thing that I guess the passion could be music, but the passion also with clothing. Mm-hmm. You own your own. Is that a brick and mortar store? Or is that online?
In Nashville. It's online and in Nashville. It's High Class Hillbilly. It's at first that was what was paying for me to live, and now I'm paying for it to live. But we can't stop. We just came through Boise and some of the Central Oregon, and there's lots of things that are treasures. I can't believe I personally have my great granddad's first Stetson, and I've held on to it my whole life. And it's I'm trying to keep it away from our new dog because he eats a lot of things. So I'm trying to keep it real high up. But I would never give away my grandfather's hat or old jacket. But so many people do, and those are the things I love. It's crazy that this jacket's from about the 1930s or 40s, and and it's way better made than anything you can buy right now. It's still holding up, and no, I've never walked into a room and ran into anyone in it. So I just get a kick out of the authenticity of being able to pick things that are little pieces of flair. I keep joking with the boys that, we just get cooler the more loops we make because we keep finding things and now fighting over them and, trying to figure out who gets
We'll give it a plug online, highclasshillbilly.com.
Highclasshillbilly.com. That's
Plain
right.
and simple. I'm going to go check it out now.
You should. Well, not right now because
all right, yeah,
I'm
let's
playing,
do this.
So just
it's like old growth lumber, It's the best stuff from the past.
Yes.
All right, guys, once again, she's at the Doug Fur tonight. Got her this afternoon, Miss Nikki Lane.